From WDWNT, the worldwide leader in Disney Parks news, this is ParksCenter. Hello, everybody, and welcome to ParksCenter, the weekly news show where we go over the top 7 stories from the past week. My name's Ben, and joining me on the show tonight, we have Chris.
Good evening.
Jill.
Hello.
And Rich.
Hello.
All right, let's get things rolling with our first story of the night. Some discussion about the rides in Pixar Pier. We're splitting the Pixar Pier up into 2 bits, the rides and the food. But getting things rolling, puns, with the Incredicoaster. This thing honestly seems really cool to me. Like the whole concept of this, the retheme and the fact that it's so self-aware. Like in canon, they acknowledge that this is just a reskin of an existing roller coaster, and I love that to pieces. Chris, if I remember right, you were actually out there for the premiere, yes?
I was. I got to go on Saturday and Sunday, and you are correct. The Incredicoaster is amazing, and they're right. It's just a reskin, but when you take and refurbish a ride that some people love anyway, I'm glad it hasn't changed that much. They just made it better.
I definitely think the new theming elements are really cohesive. I think, watching, unfortunately, I didn't get to be there live, but watching the ride-throughs from everything from when you're starting out and the water effects as you take off, the idea that Dash is basically you're riding along with Dash, you've got him narrating the new coverings and how the Incredibles characters are integrated into those with not just the actual physical sculptures, but the lighting and the visual effects. I think it all looks really cool and really fun.
I love the fact that they actually have physical effects in there. Like that's really neat to me. They didn't just do projection mapping or something.
Mm-hmm.
And you go by them all really rapidly, of course. And it took us a couple of times to see everything, and that's also part of the magic. Is it's not gonna pale quickly. It seemed faster, maybe because there's added distraction, and so that was an improvement in my mind. But yeah, it's really clever. I believe it's really well done. Extremely pleased with that.
Nice. So there's the Incredicoaster. There was and is Toy Story Mania. Is there anything else going on in there? Because I'll be honest, I haven't really heard much of anything about this refurb other than the Incredicoaster.
They redid it was Triton's Carousel, was a sort of a Little Mermaid themed little small carousel for kids. Is going to be Jesse's Critter Carousel. So will be more Western themed animals. That was not operating yet. Toy Story.
That would be why I haven't seen it.
Yeah. The Midway Mania is the same, except they have Fast Pass for it now. I didn't do it this time. It was predictably crowded. And I used my Fast Passing for Incredicoaster and Guardians of the Galaxy, etc. Those visits.
Are they doing anything with Maliboomer, or is it the Stinger? It's been a long time since I was at DCA.
Apparently, because the Maliboomer is gone. That I did enjoy that ride, but no, that is gone. There's going to be an Inside Out swing. I believe that's what's in the Emotional Whirlwind.
Yep.
That looks like it was near where the Maliboomer was, even though the Boomer's been gone for a decade. There is still the Mickey's Melodies swing, which did not change. Maybe it will, just because it's really close to Pixar Pier.
And they're redoing the fun wheel into the PAL around, right? But that's not open yet.
Right.
Oh no, you're correct, Jill. That was open.
Okay.
The cars,
open.
Yeah, the cars were all painted differently with Pixar characters on the actual cars. They haven't changed that ride much, so if you enjoy that one, nothing detracted from it. They put Mickey's face that used to be on the California Screamin'. They put that on the on the wheel, which is nice. That was something that it would have been sad to see go.
Yeah, that's fair. Moving on from some of the attractions into the food, there are a bunch of different food options that really I don't think we knew much about before this weekend. The big ones that caught my attention were the cookies, the chicken, and the hot dogs. So starting off with the first one here, and then I'll let if you picked anything up that I missed. These cookie num nums were really well reviewed on our site. Did you get a chance to try these?
I did, and I completely concur with the article on our site. They described it perfectly. The one is a chocolate chip cookie pie, which was astounding, and it's not even heavy as it sounds or looks. It was delicious. It was moist. It was you could eat one yourself. I had to share it, unfortunately. But the line for the cookies was almost as bad as for the carousel. As far as the chicken and the hot dogs was good. The chicken, though, again, the review on our site was fair. The chicken was nothing special. It's like oil baked in a different site because they don't have a kitchen there, and then it's even on a day when it was busy, the chicken seemed like it had been sitting, and that I don't know that that's a huge fault. Maybe I just didn't like the chicken.
Apparently nobody liked the chicken. Yeah. Every review I've seen of Poultry Palace is not favorable towards the chicken.
I wouldn't be surprised if that changes quickly, because that didn't have a line on Sunday when the park was twice as crowded, because that wasn't a heavy
because
black
word had spread that fast that Poultry Palace was one to skip.
The cookies and the hot dogs were still really popular, and yeah, the chicken popularity dwindled in a day. I don't want to dominate the entire conversation, but the Lamplight Lounge, Ben, are we moving on to that?
Oh yeah, go for it.
Incredible! It just I lost my video there. Sorry. I loved it. I've seen mixed reviews. I was sitting with people who had mixed reviews. But I loved it. I liked the old Cove Bar and the old Ariel's themed restaurant, but I think this is a fantastic redo. Love the theme, of course. The food and the drinks, you're going to have to try it for yourselves, because the criticisms are that it's too expensive, that it's not creative enough. I disagree on the creativity part of it. I thought that the drinks were charming. They kept the lobster nachos, which I used to love from the Cove Bar, and I think those were better.
I'm scrolling past this way too fast. There's so many good drawings and little tidbits in here. You should check out.
Yeah, so much of the appeal of this is the theming done for something that's not particularly heavily themed in terms of making it feel like you're in a different environment or somewhere completely different, like if you walk into Skipper Canteen, for example. But this there's so much theming everywhere, with the throwbacks in the plaques and the signs on the wall, and then all of the illustrations in the menu, and just everything feels like they put a lot of effort into this.
Oh, that's yeah.
Gosh, you're exactly right. And then if you want the feel of eating out on the patio in the park, there's a really large spread of extremely comfortable tables out on the water, and you can watch the coaster and the wheel and the other rides, and it's you have your choice. And you're exactly right. Again, the character level was astounding. Just sat there for a half hour staring at the walls. There's so much detail. Of course, Disney's signature detail, and I believe it's really well done. They were a little bit overwhelmed in terms of seating, but that didn't detract from it for me.
Yeah. Moving on from a location with angry hot dogs to just angry dogs in general. So we've gotten some news coming up that starting, I believe, October 15th is the date we've got, that the pet-friendly policy at some of the Walt Disney World resorts is going to be ending. So this was always announced as a pilot program, which is kind of Disney's way of saying this is a beta test. We might not keep this around. And it seems that it is going to be ending potentially for good coming up in October. What are people's thoughts on this? Like, did anybody have any encounters with like cats or dogs in the rooms? Any issues that might have caused, or if it was just who cares?
Kind of. I mean, we saw some dogs, and I mean we have dogs, and there are some dogs that would be okay in a room, and some dogs that would definitely not be okay in a room. We have or had a very large husky Labrador Retriever mix who was just a sweetheart, and he'd just stay in the room, I would imagine, and go out for walks when we were there. My daughter has a very high-strung Terrier Rescue right now who is definitely not the type of dog you would ever want to leave in a room. So it kind of depends. And based on what we've seen, like at the yacht club, for example, there are those types of dogs staying at the yacht club, some of which you may want to think twice about bringing them back. So, but we are not bringing dogs with us on vacation. Unfortunately, we fly usually, and the times we've driven, we usually go to the fort where you can just get a dog loop on your campsite and you're all set anyway. But I'm not sure I would bring a dog to the yacht club anyway.
I feel like there are three potential reasons here. Either A, like Rich said, there are some dogs being brought to the resorts that are not the right kind of dogs to be leaving in your hotel room, and that was causing a disturbance for other guests. It's possible that there were some property issues, said dogs maybe chewing on something or otherwise destroying property at a rate that Disney found not worth it, or else there was just not enough interest. And it's entirely possible that all three of those things combined are an issue here. But again, we have no word from Disney that it's definitely not continuing. They're just saying as of right now, if you book up, if you check in by, I think, the October 15th, you can bring your dog. If you're checking in after October 15th, as of right now, they're not saying that. They're saying that dogs will not be allowed, but there's no definite news that they are going to stick to that. They could wind up continuing the policy. It's just interesting that it seems at this point that there hasn't been an overwhelming enoughly positive response that that Disney definitely wants to continue it, that they're still out to lunch on what they're going to do.
Yeah, that sounds about right. Moving on from there into some news about some new things coming to the resorts. We actually got to see some pictures this week of the Skyliner, or specifically the first gondola car arriving at Walt Disney World. Now, I will say I don't think we know 100% certainty that this is the first, but it is distinctly one of the first, and our first look at one, I'll say that. Little shiny. Wasn't expecting it to be quite so reflective looking.
I was under the impression that there were going to be characters on the outside of the cars, and I don't see any of that. So maybe there's some sort of coating or film on there that they're going to peel off.
Oh, hey, can you all hear me?
Yes, hi. Hey.
Oh, hi, everybody.
Hey.
It's me, your old friend Pete Carney. How's everybody?
Hey, we're doing pretty good.
We finally resolved one of our technical issues for tonight.
Oh, I have been
We've had a few tonight. Sorry about that.
Very upset listening why I cannot join this call. But I'm here.
Bring the theme music?
Yes. Oh, my gosh. There's so much I want to say and do, but I will not take up the entire time. I saw the cars on the back of the truck, the first gondola car. I think that with the reflective mirrors, that these are not stamped with characters yet. So I think Disney's going to be adding their own touches in terms of whatever characters go on the outside. But I think it'll be like kind of when you're in the back of a car or those buses where from the outside they seem themed, from the inside you could see out. I think it'll be the same kind of structure here with these windows.
I'd agree with that too. And if it's reflective, maybe it'll reflect the heat because reportedly these are not going to be air conditioned. There's no power feed across the gondola support line, so maybe reflection is good. I just hope that whatever ventilation is there has odor canceling effects, because it might get a little close from time to time.
It doesn't have that. It doesn't have that natural ECV circulation. You're gonna have to open a window.
Yeah.
Can we talk though, speaking of getting close in there, can we talk about how small these things look?
They
Yeah,
look tiny.
I was
They do.
already scared enough to ride this thing. Full disclosure, I dislike heights. Looking at some of the pictures of the poles as they've been installed and how high they get over property, over highways, over water, that made me kind of ill. And now seeing what a tiny little vehicle you're going to be on
Honestly, can we
inside on these super high wires, I don't think I can do this.
can we pull that image back up, because they say that they'll be able to pull it off the track so an ECV can get in with their family members and then keep going. If you put an ECV in that thing with their family members, where is everyone going?
Yeah,
Exactly.
yeah, exactly. I mean, it looks to me like it's 4 plus 2 kids. I mean, maximum, not
Yes.
6 to 8 like we had
And
originally.
then what about strollers, and what about your bags
Yeah.
full of merchandise?
Yeah, they
and
said they'd be able to
CDs
pull it
and
off
all
the
of
track.
that?
You could do an ECV, you could do your strollers, the whole family can get in. That looks like some serious family bonding.
They're going to need to have some TARDIS technology or something to fit everybody in there.
I hope they're bigger on the
Yeah.
inside.
Maybe it's 2 stories, we just don't see it.
It's bigger than it
Well,
looks. No,
I guarantee you there's
what's the
going to be a
line?
second story on this once we get to see the inside of it. I'll say that.
We'll all turn into Whovians, and it's bigger on the inside.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Honey, I Shrunk the Kids technology. You actually have 7,000 people inside of that thing.
Moving on though to our next story tonight, the Glow Nights. So this is something that I honestly was not expecting much from, but it seems like it's a good value for the money. So let's take it. First off, this is a beautiful shot of Typhoon.
Oh,
Like, I love that
gorgeous.
so much. That I want that as my desktop background. This thing seems like it's just kind of mediocre. Let's throw a dance party on top of it. But under the hood, what you've got some mediocre beverages. But the real joy to this is you get to see all the lighting effects. You get these really cool floaties for the lazy river. I love the dragon.
Mhm.
And
they've glow in
you
the
get,
dark ones too.
yeah, they have glow in the
Yeah.
dark. They have some lights in some of them, I think. They come very close to swearing. They
Swimming or swearing?
swearing.
Oh. Is it me,
Fishes.
or is
Later fishes.
or is Disney's new thing, like, there had to be like some DJ involved, where it's like every time we do a special event, we'll just make a dance party. Like, that's the new thing. Like, Incredible Summer, dance party. H2O Glow Night, dance party. Mickey's Not So Scary Halloween party, what should we do? A dance party.
Multiple dance parties.
It's cheap and it eats people out of the flow of traffic
Yes.
for a decent segment of time. That's it, and it's cheap.
How do we upset people at the Edison? Dance party.
The only place you can't get a dance party, still STK in Disney Springs. No dance party. And there's a
Well,
DJ
they
every
tried,
night.
but there's just not enough people.
There's
in
just
there.
not enough people. I will say this about the H2O Glow Nights. As far as value, I think it's incredible. It's only $55, I think. And
But
if
it's
you
only
watch
3
if you
hours.
watch any videos, though, it is completely empty. Like, you could do every ride twice. You could do the dance party, do the rides. You can lounge. I mean, for an after-hours event for only $55 to do anything, walk on, walk off, meet all the characters, do all the rides, have the park to yourself, I would gladly pay $55 to never wait in a line. I mean, people are
Sounds
saying
great.
that what you can do in 8 hours at Typhoon Lagoon, you can get done in 3 hours at this party. So if you want to go in the middle of the day and wait in those lines and be, this and that, this is character meet and greets, a special event. You got the dance parties, and you can do almost every single. I think they have 11 attractions open during this, and you can get them all done. From the videos I've seen, some people did them twice. So
Yeah.
And then they have the whole giant waves in the wave pool for the last half hour, which
That's just
is
cool.
pretty cool. Got to
That is
admit,
cool.
that is pretty cool. I don't know. The thing that I agree, I love the idea of you get to go through and do all these rides in record time, and that's awesome. But for $10 less than a regular park ticket, and you only get 3 hours, I struggle with the idea that is a value.
My
In a
real
sense.
thing is just like how much time do you spend in lines for this stuff? Like, is that time you're actually enjoying, or are you just standing on pavement in bare feet, not doing things?
yeah, I'm on Team Ben on this one. The fact that if I can go into a park and every wait is 10 minutes or less, then to me that 3 hour ticket is worth 11 hours. Like,
So you're one of the people that would buy the $2.99 Pixar Pier premiere party ticket.
Listen, I tell everyone this. I love Disney, and they're like, "How do you deal with the lines?" I have a policy. I never wait more than 20 minutes for anything, and I do everything.
I'm so sorry you've never ridden Flight of Passage.
I've done it. I've done it every single trip I've gone on. I've done it 12 times this year, and I've never waited more than 15 minutes. So I'm just saying, if you do it right, and this glow party is the way to do it right. Again, it's my first. I'm actually doing the water parks for the first time this summer in August. I'm doing both water parks for the first time, so I'll be able to compare it. But from what I've seen, this sounds incredible.
No, that's Pixar Pier. That's incredible.
Actually, it's
No,
the
that's
Incredible Expo at
Tomorrowland.
Tomorrowland. Yeah, that's
Oh,
incredible.
yeah.
Yeah, so we got to use the right.
The dash diaper race is where it's at.
Speaking of stuff coming to Tomorrowland, My Halloween Plus. So we've got some new additions coming to Mickey's Not So Scary Halloween Party. So in order here, Mad Tea Party is getting some new lighting effects, and I would assume some black light effects, given that they say depending on the color of your costume, you could transform under the new light. It's black light. Pirates of the Caribbean, it sounds like they're getting like live actors inside of the ride, which sounds really, really cool. Space Mountain, we're going to get essentially Ghost Galaxy. And Storybook Circus gets a dance party. Yeah.
Weren't we just talking about dance parties everywhere?
Yeah. So other than the dance party, what are people thinking about this? I'm honestly extremely excited for the Pirates thing. I think that's going to be amazing.
I have a lot of opinions, so someone else wants to go first.
If those things are temporary, then I think they're an excellent idea. But they did that overlay for our Space Mountain for a few months, and it got tedious. It was interesting once, and then we had the Red Hot Chili Peppers overlay. Did you guys get that?
No, we didn't get any of that.
They might have beta tested us back in the 90s. These were a couple of experiments that went way beyond their attraction. But
they only literally had Red Hot Chili Peppers at the Galactic Landing outside. That's about it. That's all we get.
For a specifically themed extra Mickey Halloween party, I think these are brilliant ideas, and I agree with you, Ben, that I want to see what they do with the live actors and the pirates.
All right, go ahead, Jill.
No, go ahead, Pete.
All right, so I'm going to start with that. Mickey's Not So Scary is my favorite party of the year. This is I tell everyone who's never been to a party, go do this. It's so much fun. The fact that you get to the park a little early, a lot of people don't know this. You can get in at 4:00, even though the park doesn't officially start opening for you till 7. You still get your bracelet. You can start trick or treating. You can do all your things. It's the best party. It's becoming a little dated only because if you watch the fireworks for Not So Scary compared to Happily Ever After, it's a joke. It reminds you of Disney of 12 years ago. But the fact that they're trying to plus this event, which is already a special event, I think it's amazing. And I know a lot of locals are saying they were getting tired of the same old thing. But in my opinion, it's the best parade. Hocus Pocus on stage is one of the best stage shows. If you haven't seen it, it's fantastic. And I love that this is hitting the families that don't go as often as the rest of us or the locals. And now they're plussing it again. That you have the. I've never done Mad Teacups in my life. I never will. I don't find anything amusing about going in a circle, but I love to watch people do it, and I'd love to see that. Pirates of the Caribbean with live actors or possibly any kind of overlay, sign me up. It's worth the ticket price right there. Space Mountain, since we don't get any overlays, and Disneyland in California gets a ton, this is amazing. We live for just seeing it with the lights off or lights on. This is going to be amazing, and it's the same charm of the Christmas of the Halloween party. I'm so excited. This is going. I already bought my tickets. I'm going in August.
That was Hallowish's blasphemy. I just need to say that.
Why blasphemy? It's an old show.
Hallowish's is fantastic.
Hallowish's is a
all right. I can't let this start. We got to keep on schedule, folks.
It's like I'm on my cell phone on the castle. Those are the same projections.
Talk louder,
Moving
Ben.
on to the last topic of the night.
This has been a
crepes. The crepes are coming. The crepes are coming. So later this year, which is a little bit earlier than we were expecting to start seeing things for this, the France Pavilion in Epcot is going to be getting a make your own crepe location. And I will say at this point, it seems like this might be rumor, so it may end up not happening until next year with the rest of the Ratatouille stuff coming. But I'm not opposed to them opening this a little early. And I was kind of surprised at how much attention this article ended up getting. Are people like super excited for these crepes? Like, I just thought it's another food thing.
Crepes are good. I think whenever you can get in more crepes, as long as you're not Edna mode, you're good. We like Arista crepes down at the Disney Springs. You know, it's a little bit lighter, it's flavorful. You know, it's good. So I'm interested in the crepe restaurant or stand or whatever it is, but I'd also be more interested almost in the pathway. You know, this is a new placemaking inside the France pavilion area that's supposed to eventually lead up to the Ratatouille ride, but I'm almost more interested in seeing what they're going to do, you know, what type of theming they're going to have back there.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I
it's
think
going to be fun to see.
there's two benefits to this. One is that we get build your own crepes, which I think is a fantastic addition to any park. As I'm assuming this is going to be a counter service or stand type of situation, and for something where you can walk up and say, "Hey, I want these two sweet things. I want Nutella and strawberries, or I want mushroom and cheese," and I can get whatever I want, whether I want a snack or a dessert. It's perfect for France. And yes, the added bonus is if this does wind up opening earlier and from the rumor significantly earlier than the Ratatouille ride, we're going to be able to get an interesting little sneak preview of what's going on back there. And all the WDWNT staffers are going to be running back there and taking pictures through holes in the tarps and things so we can get a better picture of what's happening with the Ratatouille ride, which we're also really excited about. So
I'm just saying, whichever Imagineer came up with this is going to get a giant bonus or raise, or it's Disney, so maybe a pat on the back. But this is going to generate so much money. It is crazy. I'm trying to think of a price in my head that I would pay. Like,
not to interrupt, but careful with that pat on the back. You know, Lassiter had to go, so just.
Oh, whoa, hey.
Just saying.
Not a kiss on the earlobe, just a pat on the back. All I'm saying is, this is going to be fantastic. I was thinking of a number in my head that I would pay to like make my own crepe or to see it or be a part of it. And I kept saying like, all right, 10, 15, 20, 25. Even if they charge $40, I would do it. They're not going to.
A $40 crepe? What?
No, I'm just saying this is going to be so unique
the guy
and
who
so
pays $60 for 3 hours.
Exactly. I'm just saying it's an experience. This is what Disney's all about, is experiences and the memories of making your own crepe, feeling like you are in France. I can't imagine being a young child or even in early teens and making your own crepe, feeling like you're in France and learning the history of that entire process and what it goes through and these thin pan. It's going to be incredible. There's going to be a massive line. I think this is genius by Disney.
And the flavors in France, from the drinks to every restaurant, and of course the ice cream. This is going to work. I agree.
Yeah, can I get a frosé crepe one time?
Yeah, France definitely has a reputation for having some of the better food in Epcot, so this seems to fit right in.
We.
And on that wonderful note, we are going to call it a show for the night. Thank you, folks, for watching. I really appreciate you all coming out. If you are watching this live and want to see more of us hanging out and chatting about stuff, stay tuned for the post show if you're a Wigs member. If you're not, I highly recommend you go over to patreon.com/WDWNT. Sign up there for as little as $2 a month, and you can get access to all our live post shows. You can get access to See It Real Late with Tom Corliss, our late night talk show, and a whole bunch of other extras, including the entire podcast backlog. So again, patreon.com/WDWNT. Recommend that highly. Coming up in the near future, we have our 10th anniversary show actually coming up on July 8th. There's going to be a big, long live show for that. Someone correct me if I'm wrong. I believe that's starting around noon on Sunday.
I believe it's noon to 11 for the 11 hours.
That's this weekend
WDWNT is in existence. No, July 8th.
Oh, okay. Thank goodness.
I also would like to plug, it's not on our calendar, but we have another episode of our Travel Tips live show coming up on July 2nd at 7 p.m. We're going to get that up on the calendar soon. That is where we sit down and talk to our travel agent sponsor, Small World Big Fun, and you guys who are watching live can post questions in the chat. Anything you want to ask about traveling to Disney and have a travel agent answer for you. We'll be doing that live right here on WDWN Tunes.
Hot dog. That sounds great.
Yeah. All right. With all the plugs out of the way, thank you folks for joining us, and we will see you again next week.
Sivako!
Bye, folks.